Adobe will be taking us today on a section about hosting using free services, GitHub pages, what's it called, Netlify, and there are other services, but those two are our main focus actually. So as you guys have been doing throughout the program, you guys have been doing a lot of coding and doing stuff. And remember, anytime I've asked for the assignment, I've asked for the assignment as regards to just the GitHub repo or to see the code and everything. But when we want to see the product of your code, how we see the product of your code is how it looks in the browser. So what these hosting services do, what these free hosting services do is that the normal way in which people host stuff is more complex, which is using domain names and other things like that. But with services like Netlify and GitHub pages, we can be able to host those things in a manner that will not even cost us more than will not cost us money one, and will not take more than 5 minutes to do. So I'm not really expecting this class to be that long. It depends. It depends on what Adobe has in store for us. I trust her. So, but regardless, I don't think it's a difficult thing to learn. If you just pay attention, I think that within one day, within 1 week, just do it twice and you get better at it. So, Adobe, my hands are off the table. You have the center stage. I'll start your class. Thank you.
Okay. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I'd like to introduce myself. For those of you that are not here in my last class, my name is Adobe, and I'm a backend developer at Genesis currently. So today, I don't know. I don't think I'm okay. Am I the co-host yet? Can I share my screen? Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. I'll just share my screen. Oh yeah. So like today, I'll be taking you guys on hosting your sites on GitHub and Netlify. So as Edoze said, you've been writing code since. So basically, I feel like what you guys have been doing is just to like upload your code to GitHub and then share with your facilitators and your coordinators. So all the codes you've written so far, you like no one else can be able to access them or use them, because in the real world, like you build real world projects and it's not on your laptop that other people come and use it. You have to like put the project out there so other people will be able to have access to it. So that's basically what hosting your website does. So we'll be using GitHub pages and Netlify for this session. And as you said, there are other ones, but for now, I feel like these are the two main sites that you need to get started. So I'll
We can't
start
see your
with
screen.
GitHub. You can't see my screen. Oh, wow. Can you see it now?
No.
Yes. Ah. Okay, give me a minute. Let me disconnect and connect again. Can you see my screen? Can you guys see my screen?
No, man, it's still loading. According to what I'm saying.
No, we can't. We can't see your screen yet.
It's already sharing on my end. I don't know why you guys can't see it.
Adobe, what's up? Is it showing on your end?
Yeah, it's showing that my screen is like I'm sharing my screen.
Okay. Let me see if I can try on my end. Let me know if the issue is coming from something, because I don't understand why it's having this problem. Is this still showing? Is it? We can't still see it yet.
Or should I leave and join again?
Okay, maybe you can try that. Maybe you can try that. Let me try share my own screen. Can you guys see my own screen?
No.
Nobody see my own screen at all. You're not seeing anything on my screen.
Nothing at all.
No, I'm not seeing anything.
But is it showing that it's sharing?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
The issue might be coming. This might be a bug on Zoom's end. Give me a second. Trudy, why we don't use that is that we have to record these particular calls with the company's account. We have to record this with the company's account. So I cannot just go and start a
Recording.
So Adobe, can you try again and see, because I feel like it might be an issue from Zoom. I just can't pinpoint what the problem is. Every setting on my end is fine. Okay, it's showing now.
Okay. So as I was saying, we're going to go ahead and start with post on GitHub. So I hope everyone can see my screen now.
Please, I can't still see it from my own end.
So is it everybody that can see my screen or just few people?
I can't still see it.
I can see it.
Wow, I cannot.
For those that can't see it, I don't know, maybe try leaving and joining back. So I don't know, I think I'm going to go ahead.
Adobe, let me interject. Sorry. Can everybody see Adobe screen? Because I can see it on my own end. Because I'm seeing some people in the comments say no, yes, and everything. Is if you can see it, indicate by posting an emoji or something. No need to comment, like click a reaction or something. Okay, okay. So Adobe, you can carry on. Yes, you can carry on. I think they can see your screen.
Have a GitHub profile by now and have made one or two commits or created one or two repository. So that's like a requirement for this class right now. So you guys must have posted at least one or two have created in the past. So all you have to do is to navigate to the repository you want to host. So this is my GitHub repo. So I'm going to look for one of my HTML and CSS.
Please, we can't see anything. Just your screen is stagnant.
Yeah, it's just showing the screen of the meeting.
Ah.
It's just showing the screen of the Zoom meeting, of the Zoom call.
Can you guys see my screen now?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
And you're seeing my GitHub repo, right?
Yes, we can see it now. Thank you.
Yes, yes.
Yes, you can.
All right, sorry about that.
Them now.
So as I was saying, like by now you guys should have like one or two repositories on GitHub that you plan to host. So I'm just going to use one of mine as an example right now. I'm looking for one particular one. Okay, so let's use this. So once you navigate to the repository you plan to host, all you have to do is to go to the setting tab, and click on it. So basically all this thing is just with a click of a button, you can basically just host your site on GitHub and Netlify. Like there is no big ceremony around it. So when you click on setting, you go to pages, you click on pages, then here deploy from a branch, this should be clicked. Then here you click on the branch you want to deploy, which is obviously going to be the main branch. So this is going to be the folder you're going to deploy from. So all my files are in the root of my repository. So I'm going to click on root. So root is basically once you navigate to your repository like this, you see all your files. Like once I open my repository, you see my index of HTML is here, my CSS is here, my JS is here. So some people usually have a source folder, and then once you open the source folder, you now see these 3 main files that make up the website. So if that's where this your HTML file is, so that's going to be what you're going to choose here when you navigate to pages. So mine is at the root, so I'm going to choose the root. But if it's that you have your HTML file and CSS file and other files inside another folder, so all you have to do is to click here and choose the folder. The folder is going to appear here, but since I don't, I'm going to click on root and then click on save. And that's basically all you have to do. The site is going to be deploying right now. So if you come here, you see this orange thing. You see that the file that the site is deploying at the moment. So you can click on here to see the details and everything and the process. So it's setting it up, it's pulling in checkout. So all these things are basically just the action, what is happening on the back end as it's deploying. So once it's complete, you see that everything will shine green here. This is going to shine green, yeah. So it's still deploying. So you just have to wait a moment. So basically all these things is just by clicking the right buttons. So if you navigate to settings, navigate to pages, then choose the branch and choose the folder where your files are in, and then just click on done. Your site is going to be hosted automatically. Yeah, as you can see, it's done. So your site is deployed to GitHub Pages environment. So the site has been deployed. Then in order to see what is deployed, if you click on this complete job, the last one, you're going to see the link is here, and the link is basically the GitHub repo / the name. So your GitHub repo, your SSCD is http / your name / the repo. So it's just basically that, so in case you forget or you misplace the link one day, you don't know how to retrieve it. So now the site has been hosted. You can basically just copy this link and send to anybody, and then they'll be able to view it on their phone or on their laptop or any other system. So as you can see, the site is already working. So that's it for GitHub, just basically as straightforward as this. Then for Netlify, you just have to navigate to www.netlify.com. That's the official website. And it's basically just the same process, clicking of the same buttons. So I assume that some of you don't have an account on Netlify, so you just have to click on sign up. But then I already have an account, so I'm going to log in. But then signing up is just the usual way you sign up to other apps. You use your email and sign up. And I hope you guys are following. Hope there is no question on this, the GitHub that we just did right now.
No, it's quite understandable.
Okay, because it's pretty straightforward. So this is the Netlify site. So basically what we did before is the same thing we are going to do right now. So if you navigate to the home page, navigate to sites. So on the home page, you basically see all the you basically see all the projects you've deployed. As you can see, these are the projects I've deployed, but since you guys haven't deployed anyone by now, as I'm assuming, here will basically just be empty. Then you can click on add new site. So deploying on Netlify, there are 3 ways you can do that. You can either import an existing project from GitHub. So you have to link your GitHub to your Netlify account. I'm going to show you guys how to do that. It's still straightforward too. Or you deploy manually. This one is just basically um, um, basically just dragging a folder, but I'm going to like run through the 2 of these, importing and deploying manually, and they are pretty straightforward. This is just like basically writing your code on Netlify console, which is not really advisable. I suggest you just write your code and either deploy it manually or import an existing project from GitHub. So we are going to do this import one first. So basically, for you to be able to do that, you have to first of all connect it to either GitHub, GitLab, or all this. And I assume that you guys already have a GitHub account, so I'll go ahead and connect it to GitHub. So basically, it's just going to pop up, and I think because I've already logged in on my GitHub, that's why I think just went straightforward. But then if it doesn't, highest it will just prompt you to log in, and then you input your GitHub details and stuff. Then you search for the repo you want to deploy. All these ones are not HTML repositories, so I can't post them here. So I'm looking for one that's HTML and CSS project. Yeah, let me go with this. So you just click on it. Once you find the repository that you want to host, you click on it. Then the same thing you did basically in GitHub is what you do now. You choose the branch, which I assume is going to be main. But if you have other branches, they will all appear here, and then you can now pick the branch you want to deploy. So I'm going to be choosing main. Then the base directory is going to be the root. Is it okay? If you're using starting, you need to this. Okay, but basically what we are doing is HTML and CSS. So there is no build command or all of this. So just basically once you've picked the same thing you picked before in GitHub, you just skip all those parts and click on done, and then the thing is going to start hosting for you like the way it did and the way we did on GitHub. Once you guys start writing more advanced project like React and the rest, then you need to configure it. You need a more complex configuration, but for now everything is pretty straightforward. So the site is still deploying. Okay, so it's done deploying. So if you navigate to here, you'll probably be able to see it. But then there's also an option of setting up. I want to run through this, setting up a custom domain. So if you click here, you can just impute the name you want your app to be, the name of the domain that you want your app to be registered with or something like that. So you can basically just try your luck and just impute any name you want to see if the name is already taken. So it's a random code generator. So I'll just do quote generator. Oh, I think this is only available if you've bought the domain name. Yeah. So this is your this is the site. So once you just click on it, the site is going to you'll be prompted to the site, and then you can, as before, you can share this link to anybody, and then they'll be able to view it on their phone, on their system, and the site is going to be working properly. So that's it for connecting it to GitHub. So in case, for those that don't have a GitHub account, or they don't have a repo and they just want to upload their files directly from their system, there's also an option for that on Netlify. So let's go back, and then instead of, as you can see, the one I deployed now, it has been added here. So here is where you can manage all your sites. If you want to delete them, you can navigate to it, and then there's an option for that. I think if you go to site setting and you go here, you'll be able to delete the site in case you want. Or but then I won't be doing that. I'll try to I want to show you guys how to deploy manually for those that want to upload their files. So basically, this is that you drag and drop the folder here, or you can just click here and then browse through and then pick the particular folder you want to host. So I'm going to be going with the same one we did now. And once you select it, and make sure you navigate to the folder where all your HTML, CSS file, all your files are stored in, so it will be able to deploy properly. So if you navigate to the folder, you now click on upload, and that's all you have to do. Then your site starts hosting, and then once it's done, same as before, you'll be provided with a link that you can share to people, and then they'll be able to view the site you built. And this, the one we did manually now, which, as you can see, is properly working too. So that's basically it for deploying. And one other thing that this provides, the Netlify and GitHub provides you with, is a continuous deployment system, in a way that if you go to GitHub now and you believe that you want to, let me say, after a while, you want to change some things in your folder, in your project, and let's say upgrade it or something like that. If you make any changes to it, GitHub will basically redeploy the website for you, or Netlify will basically like redeploy it for you. So if you make any changes, you don't need to go back to Netlify and deploy again and host again, or go back to GitHub and host the website again. So once you've hosted it once, you've hosted it forever. So any changes you make to the site, it will continuously be like, they'll just basically keep updating it for you. So any changes you make on the site, you'll be able to navigate to this same old link, and then it will be updated as you make changes. So basically, that's it for hosting manually. And as Edoze told you, it was simply as straightforward as he said. So I doubt there will be any questions, but if you guys have any questions, you guys can ask now. So these are the two sites deployed right now. So if you want to delete it, you can go through the same process and delete them. Or if you want to change your domain site, the same way I showed you, go here, like in case you buy a domain name and then you want to associate the domain name to your site, you go here and impute it. So that's basically it for hosting. So any questions?
Sorry.
I doubt that.
Can my network was really slow, so I couldn't follow up everything 100%. So is it possible to just do a quick run through for everything?
I can't hear you.
I was saying my network was slow, so I couldn't follow up. I couldn't follow with you. That's it. I couldn't follow up. But is it possible to do a quick run through of
Okay.
everything?
Okay.
So I have
Any
a
other
question.
question? Yeah, what's your question?
All right, my question is this. What if, let me assume now, I built an e-commerce website where you can
Yes.
order for goods and the rest of them like that. Pay online through Paystack and the rest of them. If I host it through Netlify, is this still going to do the same work I want it to do
Yeah.
if I had hosted
Yes.
it with normal? All right.
Yeah. It's basically all the whole function. As you can see, the one I did, the function was still there. So it's just
All
pretty
right.
straightforward, the same process.
And I want to ask again, and how long will it take before you will have to rehost it again? Because some other hosting sites that I know, they have expiry dates. Once it's expired, you renew your subscription. So I don't know if it applies with Netlify too.
Yeah, but I don't think it applies with Netlify. But I don't know. I don't really use Netlify, but you can go and browse about that and check.
All right. Thank you.
Any other question?
Yes, please, I have a question.
That was a question.
How do you handle the database? What do you use for the database if you to deploy a site like this?
Yeah, that's easy to host. I don't get databases are like MongoDB and the rest.
Yes,
So come again, ask your question again.
like okay, like he's like the example the last person gave. Like if you were to build an e-commerce website, you need the database where you will store your
Yeah,
products now.
yes.
So how do you handle what does this thing allow for database to how do you manipulate your database?
Database is a completely different system. Once if it depends on database you're using to build your, I think you might be referring to your server, your API, sha. Is that what you're referring to, or your database?
No, I mean, where will you store your data? If let's say products now, you will not store it
Your
on
data
you will not store it together
yeah,
with
it's stored on your database now, MongoDB, and that's a completely different thing. You don't need to deploy your host. You're not writing anything on your database. But I think what you mean is the back end side of the app. So if you want to deploy the backend side of the app, you can use, I think you can use Netlify too. But then personally, I use what they call that app again. You can use Heroku, yes, Heroku, and there's another one I use, but I can't remember the name right now. But then there are platforms you can use to deploy the backend side of your app. Your database, you don't deploy database. Any other question? I believe have I answered your question?
yes.
Okay. Miracle, you said in a situation where I have a domain name, how do I implement it on GitHub pages? I have no idea. But then there should be an option there in your settings. But I haven't done that. But then I believe if you go to settings, yes, that's implicit. If you go to settings, there should be an option for that. Yeah, I saw the option. Yeah, see it here, custom domain. So you have to input it here. That's if you've bought a domain name. So this is where you're going to input it. Any other question?
Bring in your question. Oluwase, hands up. Ask Adobe now because you not see her again.
Okay, good evening.
Yeah.
Yeah, please, I'm having issue with this GitHub. When you are explaining it, my network was going off and on. So I don't know if you can do recap or if somebody can chat you later after the class. I don't know. That's my own question.
Okay, so actually, once you open the repo you want to deploy, you navigate to settings, then go to pages. Are you following? Is your network misbehaving again? Are you the person asked the question? Are you following?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So if you go to settings, you go to pages, then this one I've already deployed it, but you basically just pick the branch, pick the root of your folder. So as I explained before, all my files are at the root of my folder. So basically, if you open the repository, you see my HTML, my CSS, and my JavaScript file. So that's what I mean by it being at the root of my repository. So if you have all your files inside another folder that is inside the root of your repository, like let me say if you open this repository, working with that serious, for example, then inside it you now have, let me say, source folder. Inside it you now have another folder. So basically, here is this place you're going to pick the particular folder that contains the HTML, CSS, and all your files that you want to deploy. So basically, mine is at the root. So I picked root, and once you pick root and you click on save, it automatically deploys and hosts the project for you, and then you'll be able to see it here. Once it's done hosting, your site is live. And once you click here, this link is what you're going to be able to share to anyone that wants to have access to your site.
Sorry, ma'am. Good evening. Can I ask
Good
you a
evening.
question?
Yeah, I can.
So if are you trying to say now that this hosting on GitHub, because I've just been hearing you saying HTML and CSS, so is it that we cannot host sites that have JavaScript and the rest?
Oh, sorry, I said HTML and CSS. Actually, there's actually JavaScript. Where is the site? There is JavaScript there too also. I just said it like I was just using to give an example. But if you go here, you see that I have my JavaScript file too. So it's just basically everything.
Okay, thank you.
All right, I have a question, please.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is it possible to take down the site? Maybe you built a site for a client now, but something came up. The client refused to balance up. So is it possible to take down the site?
Someone wants to carry gun and shoot client. So basically, I actually went through that already, Sha, but I guess you were not here when I did that. I told you like if you want to take it down, you navigate to the site, then go to site settings. Then in site settings, you see danger zone. Then click on delete the site. Then confirm. and click on delete. As easy as that. The site
All right,
is
all
no
right.
longer here.
Sorry, excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah.
This was exactly the question I wanted to ask. Like, if you delete, like this was exactly my question. If you delete that site, like, it's still going to be in your repo, right? Like, the particular
Yes.
stuff you built will still be there.
Yes, still be there.
Okay.
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah.
Hello, can you hear me, please?
I can hear you.
Okay. I don't know. I quite understand. I understand both options, the Netlify and the GitHub, but I think professionally, I've noticed that most of the sites we have access to, they don't really use all this. You can't see the what's it called, the GitHub or the Netlify dot whatever on the URL. What
Yeah,
is the professional way of doing this?
that's why I say if you have to like be able to, you have to buy a domain site. I also say that too. So if you're able to buy a domain site, then here is where you're going to impute it. So this is no longer going to be the URL that is associated with the project. So it's going to be the link that you provide here after you've bought it. That is going to be. So that's basically what they do.
Okay. Okay. So then why starting out, Netlify or
But
GitHub?
why starting out here is just basically just use either GitHub or Netlify.
Or
Personally, I
Netlify?
use
Okay.
Netlify, but GitHub is also nice. They are both free. So at this point, once you're still practicing, it's not advisable to go and start spending money when you're practicing.
It's okay. Thank you, man.
You're welcome.
Okay, well, can you go through the steps of
What do you say?
can you go through the steps of hosting your website online using Netlify?
I should go through it again.
No, using Netlify, not GitHub.
Is it that you were not here or you didn't understand?
I was kicked out of the meeting 5 minutes.
Okay, so basically you click on, if you navigate to the home of Netlify, your home page, after you've signed up, your page is going to look like this. Although this site is going to be empty because you haven't posted any sites yet. So if you click on add new site, you click on import an existing project, and then you'll be able to connect it to either of these sites. But then there is a way you can actually connect it permanently, though I've not done that. So you can go to user settings, and here you're going to see in your profile, you're going to see connected accounts. So you can connect your GitHub permanently. Yeah, so you see that it has connected to my GitHub. So you click on add an existing file and click on GitHub. It will connect to your GitHub account that you've provided. And then from there, it's just basically the same process with GitHub, but I guess let me go through it again. You pick the repository you want to deploy. I'm looking for HTML site. Yeah, so you pick the branch, which I assume is going to be main. But if you have other branches that you want to deploy, you can pick them here. And as I said before, you can just overlook all these build commands and the rest. So if you start using text like React and the rest to build your site, then you can now put this in the build commands and the rest. But for now that you guys are still writing HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, you just leave them blank and click on deploy site, and then it deploys for you automatically. So you just have to like wait a minute, and then it deploys. So once it's done, you're going to see the link here. Yeah. So this is the link. And as you can see, the site works. So that's basically it. I hope you got that.
Okay, yes, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. My name on the Discord is basically my name here, Adobe Chooks. So you can send me a DM on Discord. So any other question?
So is that all we have for today?
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, hello.
Hello, sir.
Okay. Mine is like it's a question and at the same time like an observation. There was this time I wanted to try uploading my code on Netlify. So I I tested it on using the live server and everything was running perfectly. But while trying to upload on Netlify, I was getting the error message. The site was not loading. So I later I spoke to a friend and the observation was that I should check the naming of my file. I tried everything, I didn't really get it. So even till now, I still don't know why the code didn't run. So, but the person was like
Please,
the naming of the maybe the
can you come
CSS or
again?
the
Can you come
Java.
again? I did not get you. Can you come again? Yeah.
Okay, like I was talking about uploading,
Mm.
deploying on Netlify.
Okay.
So I got stuck at a point while trying to deploy a project, and when I reached out to someone, the person told me that I should check the naming of my files, maybe the CSS or the HTML or something. I tried changing the naming and all, and I was still getting the error. So I really couldn't figure out what happened, but the code was correct and everything was running on live server. So I don't know what could have be responsible for this.
So basically, I can't actually answer that unless I see your code, then I'll be able to know the mistake you made. But you probably made a mistake somewhere, because as you can see, I deployed like up to 4 or 5 sites now, and they all deployed. So maybe you can reach out to me later, so I can help you
Okay,
with that.
okay, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, please, can I say something regarding that?
What do you say?
I wanted to add a contribution regarding what he said.
Go ahead.
He should try and check his console. If there's an error in your console, if you're deploying, Netlify is going to reject deployment of that particular application. So if you don't have any error in your console, then you know that it has to be something else. But if you check your console and you're having some errors, that could be a problem with deployment too.
All right, thank you for that.
So another question. Um, so I guess is it it is ice here.
Is it just me or is the meeting silent? No, Adobe, I'm in the meeting actually. I just want to take bread for my kitchen. Don't mind me.
Okay.
So I think Kaide was the last person that asked the question.
Yes, I was doing.
No other person is asking questions. Wow. Is everyone satisfied? I told you guys that it was going to be one of the shortest sessions. I mean. Is everyone satisfied? You should disturb Adobe. You will not see after now. Disturb her now. Because I will not answer your questions. Adobe are a facilitator. They're supposed to please. They are doing
They don't have
Everything
questions
today
now.
is quite understandable.
They don't have a
There's not
question.
much.
You don't want to force them to have questions.
Okay. All right. So what's going to happen is that well, I will give you guys a little task, but it's not going to be a complex thing, but it's going to be basically something that you have learned from this session. You get so I will put it up on the WhatsApp on the Discord channel by tomorrow in the afternoon. You should be basically doing just a little task from this that is from this particular class. You get. So apart from that, in the absence of that, I think we are done with this class. So I want to say thank you to Adobe. Oluwashe is asking Oluwashe asking a question. He's saying what is the name? Oh, okay, that was Adobe, sorry. Oh. Okay, so I want to say a big thank you to Adobe for taking up this class and not just taking it up. She did it very, very well also. Adobe, I want to say thank you very much for this. And to every other person on this call, please, I want to tell you that if you have not spoken to your mentor, please do so. If you have not spoken to your mentor, you are in the wrong right now, please. So reach out to your mentor, speak to them, and let them direct you on how to, get better at programming and the rest of stuff like that. Okay, so that's just that. So take care, everyone. Good night. See you in tomorrow's class. Bye bye.
Hello, sir. All right. Good night.
It's Isaiah.
Good night.